She's
She's
like,
like,
Dad.
hello? Are you
Yeah.
there?
She's like, you have not petted me as ever since you got home because I was laying down taking a nap. She was. And then she decided to come visit. Hey, Reese. Reese. Goofball.
And we are live, it says. Yes, we are. We're here. We made it.
We are here.
We were talking about scheduling stuff, so that's why we're just a touch late. But,
Hey, Bam.
ha, Bim! We're here. We did it. Here's what's crazy is this morning, like when I was putting the notes together earlier this afternoon, and I'm like typing in September 20th, and I'm like, where did this month go? I did
It
what?
vanished.
Where did it go? I don't understand what is happening. All of a sudden everything is just like zoom. I guess that's how it always happens, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. Oh my goodness, today was a busy day. It's I think that I just saw on my Twitter feed as I was posting the tweet that it looks like the storms are gone now, so I think I'm good. So, because holy moly storms today. Like, holy moly. On my Twitter, I posted a picture of a poor little waterlogged hummingbird sitting on my feeder.
Aw.
Poor little guy. Like, he let me get up close to him in order to take that picture. And because he just didn't want to go back out in the rain. It's just like, oh.
Poor
Poor
guy.
little guy.
Didn't save my calendar thing for some reason. It looked like it did.
No.
Weird.
Is it BlizzCon yet? No.
No.
I keep saying I keep hating to say no because I have to keep saying no. But it's
I wanna
closer.
say yes.
It's a
It
little bit closer. Oh, there's so many hugs being saved up. You have no idea. Like as the clock ticks, there's more and more hugs that are being accumulated in the pool for people who are going to be receiving them. It's going to be incredibly awesome.
It is. And I like to fly Southwest because your bags fly free.
Yeah.
And that's only 2 bags. You get a carry-on and then you get your check bag.
Right.
But and after that they charge you. So I'm going to have to take like 5 pieces of luggage with me to handle all the hugs that I need to give out over that week. So you guys are good. I'm spending money on hugs for you guys this year. So you better be ready.
He's actually packing his hugs. This is how it's going to work. He's packing his hugs.
Yes. There's so many. I can't. I mean, it's like, why can't I hold all these hugs? There's way too many. They keep falling out. And the TSA guy looked at me weird when I came walking through last year. I was like, I have so many hugs. I can't help it. Did you check those hugs? Yes, they're fantastic.
They're amazing. I want to bring them home and I can't.
I cannot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's just oh. It's gonna be a good week. It's gonna be a good BlizzCon week. How do I hold all these hugs? Use a tray. Little cart, little wagon. You pull that behind you and just be like, hello, this is my wagon train of hugs.
Yes, little wheelbarrow.
I like that. I'm so excited. You have no idea. It's just there's so much that's like kicked up and brewing now with BlizzCon, and you can almost taste it. It's getting there. Almost
so close. Yeah. I am eagerly awaiting them to announce the BlizzCon sale for like all the gear and stuff that they put out that you can pre-order.
Yeah.
You can order beforehand. I'm like, okay, I can't wait. Speaking of that,
I'm at that point when I'm just like, can I have all the Heroes of the Storm stuff because I want that.
Yes.
I would like all of it, please.
I'll take one of everything, please. Did you see the Genji sword that they announced today?
Yes. Holy moly. That's
I was like,
$200 of sword too.
yeah. It's like, it's a bit much for me. I'm gonna pass. I don't really have much room to store it because
Yeah, like
it's
that's the thing. You need a flat, long surface that can be on a display. And I'm looking behind your little head on that screen, and there's not a lot of extra space in there.
not a lot of extra space, no. And in fact, over here you can almost see, like, if I can reach it with my finger. Where is it? Right there. The guy at the end. That's the Best Buy exclusive Torbjorn. They finally unleashed them last week, and I also saw that Target had started stocking the new Genji.
Yep.
Carbon fiber, and I went there, and the guy was like, "Yeah, dude, let me get it. I'll be right back. I'll get it out of the back." And he's like, crap." I was like, "What?" He's like, "There's a release date," and I was like, "Oh, there's a street date." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Come back October 5th. Get here when we open."
You gotta wait.
When we open.
You gotta wait for it. That sucks.
Yeah, you do. But I was like, well, and I'm like, that's 2 Fridays from now. So I think I'll just wait and try and go by as soon as they open.
You'll be pressed up against the window with your head in your hands, just being like,
Excuse me, can I please get the Genji, please?
Excuse me, sir, can I please have a Genji?
Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, you need to get here right when they open, man, because we'll have people that, they'll bring friends and they'll all buy one and then they'll just give it to the first person, and it sucks because they try to do one per person.
Yeah.
And that I'm cool with that because I'm not, not trying to scalp them or anything. I was like, I just want one.
Yeah, I just want one for myself.
Plus, they came out with the Hot Topic exclusive Junkenstein's monster for Roadhog is going to come out. And Dr. Junkenstein Junkrat is a box lunch exclusive.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, and then New York City Comic Con's got the Halloween Reinhardt one, the blue and black Cold Heart. Oh, that one looks so awesome. And I'm just running out of room on this wall.
Running out of room, running out of money.
Yeah. I mean, they're like triple stacked back there.
I know. You're gonna have to like get rid of the dresser or something.
I just need another bookshelf that I can just stack them on and just like. That's what I need. I need people to enable me. Like, give me more room to put more pops.
Hey, I'm not enabling anything. You're doing the thing yourself.
But at least, and I did talk about it last week, but this is my autographed Dragon Zord. I love it.
And you're like, yeah, so life is good.
It's awesome. I love it. and it is in like a protective plastic thingy too.
Yeah.
I had to.
Of course. All right, chat room. I'm going to give you a sounder. See if you hear the sounder. Let's see. And which one do I want?
It's the sound of silence.
We'll do this one. It is playing. I saw it on the thing, so it is playing.
It is playing.
42. Well, I didn't press the ready check, you sillies, but you're ready already because you're that good. You are that prepared.
They are the best.
You are. I mean, I'll give you your ready check. I'll do your ready check for you. Because you are that prepared. You are that ready. I know you guys. You rock this. You're tired. I know. I'm tired too. I have not been sleeping well lately, and so I'd like to sleep again. That would be very cool. I think I realized what the problem might be. I think that my pillow is too hot. I think that the pillow that I'm using just traps too much heat, and I am waking up overheated. And in the middle of the night, like around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just hot. And I'm sleeping on one of those Tempur-Pedic like neck pillow things. And I've used this thing forever, but I've had sleeping problems for quite some time. And when I was at my parents' house, I didn't have that pillow. I slept on kind of a regular pillow, and I didn't wake up stupid hot. So I was like, that might be my problem. So, so I have a pillow on order that will get here Tuesday from.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I wish it was here now, but so
Is
we'll
it
see.
another Tempur-Pedic or is it a
No,
different brand?
no. I did some research on like because I'm a side sleeper. I sleep
Same.
solely on my side. I cannot sleep on my back. Can't of course can't sleep on my stomach, and so but I did I found a couple articles those articles that like Forbes writes that says these are the 10 best pillows for side sleepers, and then like so this one. They're like, well, you need an extra firm pillow, and this one is really good, and it's only like $17. It's like the budget version. I'm like, oh, I can afford that. So I looked it up on Bed Bath and Beyond. I do this all the time.
Yeah.
Bed Bath and Beyond, and they're like, hey, here's a coupon for 20% off, and I'm like, my pillow's $15. Yay!
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I just have to wait for it till Tuesday. So. But
I did some looking at Bed Bath & Beyond once for a new pillow, and it was like a cool pillow or something. They had like a big bin of them, and they were like $50, and I was like, man, I want one, but not $50 worth.
I mean,
try it out.
That's the thing, though. It's like all these pillows. I'm like, freaking $50, like $70 for that My Pillow thing. No.
Yeah.
So
that's not my pillow. $70. It will not be my pillow.
Oh no, it will not.
It will be y'all's pillow. It won't be my pillow.
Y'all pillow. It not be my pillow.
Hey, my pillow.
I mean, I do say this because I used to work in furniture sales, and you don't want to skimp on your sleep. You just don't. But pillows are the worst when it comes to trying to find something that actually works. And you could spend like $80 on a pillow and the pillow is shit. So it's so hard to decide what you're going to get. So
well, and you can't, and it's kind of hard to return it.
You can't.
You can't really return them. So, I mean, you're just kind of stuck with it.
I know. So, so my $15 extra firm pillow, if I don't like it, I won't be too like broken up over it. Yeah.
You're like, here you go, Garrus. Something you can play with.
You can lay on this pillow on the floor.
Yeah.
All right. Are you prepared for a show, sir?
I am.
And am I right with it being 286? Right? Let me just double check that.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah, it is 286. Okay. 286.
That's a lot of shows.
That's a lot of podcasts. And actually, this letter that we have tonight is going all the way back to episode 80. All the way back.
That is a long haul.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. That is in like year 2 of this run. So, yeah. All right.
It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure.
It's going to be a good one. All right. I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
Chat room's ready?
Turn off my fan.
Okay. Count it down. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 280. What is it? 286 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, September 20th. It's 8:18 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and my name is Jewel Scott. With me, as always, is the man. I'm just bringing him in right now because I'm going to do damage to the show with the brain that I have tonight. It's Mark Conan.
Hi, Jules. Welcome to episode what? Is it again?
286. I can do this. Welcome to the I guess my brain is a little funky today. I don't know, like I've been go since I got back from New Jersey, and I haven't slept very well, so it's been like constant running, and I've been able to get everything done, but there's just sometimes these moments. Like the other night I had an episode. It was my turn to do the Esports Daily podcast, and it was Tuesday night, and I was super proactive. And I got the show done at like 7 o'clock. And then I had gaming night with Jocelyn and Nevermore. And it was like 9:30. And again, I hadn't slept well. So I was just like pooped and I went to bed. And I never posted said episode.
Whoops.
I created it and I edited it and I saved it and I put it in the drive. And I was like, I'll post this after I'm done. 1 o'clock in the morning, I am sitting bolt upright in bed going, oh no. And I got up at 1:30. It was like 1:30, turned on the computer to post the episode. And then I'm like, well, shit. Now I'm wide awake. Oh, welcome to my life. It is fun.
And then Garrus is like, oh, hey, Mom, what are we doing tonight?
Garrus, ever since I've gotten home, he has been so clingy. And he was very good. I went to visit my parents last weekend, which is why we had the show a day early. And and he was very good for the pet sitters. Like, they were so excited. I have a pet sitting service that comes in, and every day I get an email with a journal that I can click on, and there's a picture of him that they saw him, and they report that they scooped his litter, and they gave him food, and they gave him treats, and they gave him pets, and how long they stayed, and when did they get here. And every time the comments were, we're so glad he was out. He was so excited to get pets. And I'm like, go, Garrus, you're great. Well, when I got home, he was like, Mom, how could you do this to me? And cannot leave me alone. Like, cannot leave me alone. As soon as he hears me stir in the bed, if I wake up, he is on me and he is lecturing me. Meow, meow, meow. Like, dude, like, I'm hoping this wears off by the weekend because it's getting kind of old now.
Oh yeah, he'll get bored with the lectures.
Oh man, like he meets me on the stairs, halfway down the stairs when I come home, because I went out earlier to do some errands. I came home and he is like lecturing me on the stairs, like, you left again. I'm hoping this is gonna end soon, but what happens when Jules doesn't get a lot of sleep is that sometimes you're gonna get some strange stream of consciousness, like brain farty things that happen in my discussions. So you've been warned. You have been warned. So, Mark Honan, let's start with you first, because I've been babbling already. What's going on? What's happening in the last 8 days since we've seen each other last?
Yeah, it was kind of good that we didn't do the show on Thursday because I didn't get off work till almost 10 o'clock.
What?
At night. Yeah, it was everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. And so I was there for almost 15 hours that day. So it was really good that we didn't do the show that day. It was a ridiculous amount of extra work that we ended up having to do, but everybody was happy. We got it taken care of. So I can't really complain too much. But so the last week's been pretty good. Sunday, I got to see my grandparents and my nephew because it was my grandfather's birthday dinner and my nephew's. So getting to see them is always fantastic. On Monday is my day off usually, but I ended up needing to take my car to the shop because I'm actually going to be going down to Dallas next week because I have the whole week off. I needed to burn some PTO time at work before it resets next month. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just take a week off and just kind of goof around and go down to Dallas and see some friends. So I was like, I need to get my car taken care of because it's been acting up lately. And I take it into the shop and the guy says, well, it's going to be like $700 to fix it. Because 2 of my cylinders are leaking oil down into the piston, and it's causing the little spark plug to actually arc over and hit the engine block.
That's not
which
good.
Isn't like, yeah, it's not good, but it's not like this car is going to explode. It's just that I'm effectively running my 6-cylinder vehicle only on 4 cylinders. Right. So it still works. And so I looked it up and it was like a huge amount of labor, and then the parts weren't that expensive. And so I was like, well, let me make some phone calls and called my granddad who owns a used car lot, and he has got a mechanic there. And I told him what I was like, hey, they said it's this. I've got all the part numbers and everything for this, but they're wanting to do this. Do you think that's a fair amount? And he's like, nah, that's pretty expensive. Can you still drive it? And I was like, yeah, it still drives. It just kind of hangs up at the beginning. He's like, just bring it on up here and I'll have my guys look at it.
Hmm.
And so thankfully I was able to drive it. Whenever they opened up the engine and looked at it, it actually, I guess, knocked something loose because this thing kept dying on me at low speeds. I actively took detours trying to get to the interstate so that I wouldn't have to stop, because if I had to stop and then accelerate, it would die on me.
Ooh.
Once I got up to speed, I was fine. So it was a very treacherous 2-hour drive back home. And my granddad gave me a vehicle to drive. And my mom just told me that it's finished and she's actually coming to town tomorrow. So she'll bring my vehicle back to me and we'll swap. So I'll have my vehicle.
That's great.
Yeah, it works out perfectly. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'll be heading down to Dallas next week. So I was just prepping for that. Gosh, trying to think what else happened. Oh, yesterday they announced in the middle of the day, I just randomly checked my phone. They're like, oh, hey, there's a new pirate ship mount. We don't know where it's coming from. I'm like, oh, that thing looks awesome. Oh, the in-game shop? Okay, I could probably drop $25 for that because that's usually what they go for. I had some Blizzard balance from when I bought both versions of BFA because I wanted the Allied races early.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, if you spend enough money for a 6-month game time, you get this mount. And I was like, okay. I bought it. I was like, granted, most of it was Blizzard balance, so I was cool with that. And plus, I mean, at 6 months of WoW time, I would have spent the money anyway. Yeah. So now I can kind of, I was like, oh, $15 a month. I'll put that in my, save, my rainy day fund or my jar or something. That way I can have some of that money. So I just account for it that way.
Cool.
So yeah. And the Dreadwake is what it's called, and it looks awesome. They use the same model as the Alliance mount from last year's BlizzCon mounts, so it's got the same special animation, but it flies and it looks awesome. I'm looking at a picture of it over on my other monitor. It's just, it looks so cool.
That's super cool.
So yeah, I got that guy, and yeah, just try it. I haven't been able to play very many games lately or do anything because most of my I think I ended up working about 70 something hours last week.
Jeez.
So yeah, 6 days last week and then about 70 something hours. So it was a long week. And then my weekend was full of me running errands and driving across the state for my car and seeing families. So I haven't really had much game time other than dropping money on a mount. So story of my life.
Story of ever.
Yeah. It's like constantly on the quest for more mounts. And, yeah, so that was the biggest one for me for the week, is just doing that. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, is like, did I miss something? But really, my mind's been a blur.
Yeah.
At work because I get into work and then all of a sudden most of the day has gone by and then I'm like, oh, I need to go home.
Right.
Pixie's got a doctor's appointment on Monday to check her thyroid levels. She's been doing good. She doesn't like to eat her medicine that I mix in with cat food in the mornings, but in the evenings she'll eat it. So I'm trying to figure out exactly how it's weird because she will, I'll put the remainder of the food in the fridge and then I'll nuke it in the microwave for just a couple seconds to warm it up. She doesn't really like that, but if I leave the can out for like an hour for it to warm up to like room temperature, she's fine.
Yeah.
And so
she's being picky.
Yeah. Well, I almost wish Reese was the one that was sick because she's not picky at all. Like I'll take the little pill pockets that I got for Pixie that she won't eat, and I'll just put medicine in. I'll just squish it in a ball and give it to Reese, and she'll let you just lap it up. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's great." It's like, why'd the picky one get sick?
Of course, that's how it works.
So, but it's fine. It gives me time with her. That I've made myself carve out time with her twice a day to give her medicine. So in that way, it's nice because I dedicate time every day to spending time with her. So, nothing really anything wrong with that.
No,
so
definitely not.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me lately.
All right. Yeah. so my last 8 days have been traveling mostly.
Yeah.
Back home to New Jersey to visit the family. Got to see the ocean twice, which was a little special treat for me because I love going to the shore and seeing the ocean and smelling the ocean. But one of the fun things that we did is so on Sunday, it was a gorgeous day, and it hadn't been nice for like 10 days prior. They'd been dealing with rain and cloudy and super humid and all this stuff. And then Saturday was super nice. And then Sunday was just gorgeous. And so my parents were like, let's go to this restaurant that's on the water. It's like open air, can be on the water. They have places like you can cover it up and everything, but it was open air. And right up against the water where all these boats were marinaed. And then they also had spaces and slots for boats to come up and eat at the restaurant. So what you got was like this boat TV that was like right in front of you, which was great. It was super fun to watch. But what would happen is that there would be boats that would try to come into the marina and get into a slip, and some of them weren't doing such a great job parking the boat. The entire restaurant would watch them and like talk about pressure. I was looking around, and there's all these people, like every eye is up in looking at the water of this person. And they're all making prediction. Oh yeah, he ain't gonna get in there. He ain't getting in there. It ain't happening. And I'm laughing at how funny this is, because it's like, you've got like the room full of critics. It's just really, it was actually very, very funny. And so we were having a meal and we were drinking, and it was great. It was, if the sun hadn't started coming into there like really on me, I was starting to get burnt. We probably would have stayed there all day, because it was just like, it was nuts. It was like just watching the boats and like people who knew how to, he knows how to navigate that boat. And there's people like, no, he don't know nothing. So,
that's the best entertainment right there.
Because, people in New Jersey, they're pretty critical. They have opinions. They're not afraid to express those opinions. And so, yeah, thinking about being that boat captain, I wouldn't want to, like, that's like walking in with your underwear down. Like, it's like if you screw up, everyone's pointing and laughing. And so it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. So, super quick trip. I got there Thursday. I came home Monday, and then I've just been kind of go ever since I got back, because it's just been like a ton of stuff going on at the same time. We're ramping up BlizzCon stuff, and it's just getting kind of crazy. So there's the announcement that came out yesterday. Finally, I can talk about this. Is the Con Before the Storm World of Podcast panels, and for the first time ever, I will be participating on a panel, and I will be doing it for Heroes of the Storm.
Nice.
So, yes. So I will be representing Heroes News with Joel Scott, and I am the sole female representative as well. So I'm really stoked to be on the panel and repping it for the ladies. So
awesome.
Yeah. So very, very cool. It was an honor to be in. They invited me. I hadn't applied for anything. They actually invited me. So I was really excited by that. And yeah, it's gonna be great. So that's at Con Before the Storm, and it's gonna be on the Thursday night before BlizzCon. And so yeah, I'm gonna be doing some Heroes Talk. I'm gonna be doing Heroes Talk all weekend, because I'll be there working. So it's gonna be cool. But yeah, so there's that. Latest episode of Heroes News with Joel Scott came out today. It's so much news in this episode. I almost went over 10 minutes just with the news, and then my interview that I had scheduled fell through, so I didn't have an interview to add to it in time. So, but that's okay. I was like, hey, it's super packed show. It's okay. So I got that done, and now I have 2 interviews in the can for the next like 2 weeks. So I've gotten those all done in the last 2 days, which has been great. That's like herding cats, by the way. I got to tell you, trying to make sure that you get someone who's like super busy, a streamer, a content creator, a caster, a pro player. They're all busy people. So you have to plan ahead. And so I'm like, I need to get some of these like stacked in so that I don't, like, if I have what happened this week, which is I had one scheduled, the person's computer was having problems, couldn't get on with me, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine, we'll reschedule. not your fault. But yeah, you're just like, I spent literally 5 days trying to lock this person in, and then they couldn't make it in the time we actually landed on. So yeah, so it's tough. I think that's like one of the hardest things about doing a show that has interviews is just the herding cats part of that. So yeah. So yeah, it's just there's really cool things going on. I'm gonna be getting interviewed by Realm Maintenance for Heroes News coming up, so I'll be on that show again. It's been a while since I've done anything related to with Realm Maintenance. We're going way back when. So yeah, like BlizzCon hype. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, we're ramping up.
Yes. So that's I think everything that's happened in the last few days, but we're gonna dig into this show. We've got a little bit of a somber letter tonight, so bring the tone down a little bit, and we'll do the letter. It's think tank time.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
We have a listener letter that is on for tonight. We actually thank you guys so much. We've been getting letters, and we have some now waiting for us, but PSA, we can always use more. So
we will never we will never not turn down a letter. I don't know how that works. How many negatives was that? It was like triple negative. We will always
never
take your
not
letters.
is 2, and then we will always take your letters is a good way to phrase it.
We have a never-ending mailbox. Send them on in.
We do. And this one came in last week, so we will read this now. Hi. I don't know if you remember at the top of your head, but I'm the woman who wrote into the show in late 2013, and my story was read on episode 80, Dedicatedly Nerdy. I haven't listened to it since the original time with my loving husband and longtime WoW player by my side. And I just listened. I bawled my eyes out. I've spent the last several years trying to process the trauma of my past and put it behind me. Due to the severity of the events I endured, I pushed my husband away and hid myself to rot alone in misery. I didn't think I was worthy of being loved. I felt damaged and unworthy of any happiness. He was too good for me. Too pure. He was the one that kept the nightmares at bay, and he's the only thing in my life that ever made sense. I know this is probably going to catch you off guard. It's been so long, and you truly put your heart into sharing my story, and I'm so thankful for that. I remember so vividly my ex-husband arriving home after work, tears streaming down his face. He took me in for a hug and played me the podcast. We divorced in 2015, and he's the only one I've ever loved. Yet I had to stop hating myself first. I met him too soon. I had not healed enough yet. I've since become an active gamer, finding solace in losing myself in battles and challenges in game. But what I want more than anything is to be sitting around gaming with him, telling stupid jokes and just being tangled up in life together. I know this isn't your normal type of email. I'm just trying to find a way to get a message to him, that I'm still here, that my heart is still his, and that I finally allowed myself to open up to these feelings of love that I wasn't capable of doing yet during our time together. Not having him here with me now is more painful than anything I've ever endured in the past. I'd live it all again if I could get one more chance to be with him in the end. Thank you for reading. One love, Joy Williams. And Smith is the name on there now.
Yeah.
So she's not really asking a question in this letter, but I wanted to read it because I wanted to talk about it. Because there's a progression of time and what has happened and you know, the divorce and loss and learning and understanding and growth and all of those things. And I think that it's worth discussing those things specifically because I think we've all been there in some way, shape, or form. Because the one thing we have in common, if we have nothing else in common, we all are subject to time passing.
Mm-hmm.
It no matter what we do as human beings, we are all human beings. Time will move forward whether we want it to or not. And those perfect moments that you have in your life where things are maybe like, happiest days of your life, or, you're super in love, or you're, doing exactly what you want, like things are going to change and move forward, and people who are there may not be there in the future, like as you see it. So where I want to start with this is at the subject of looking at it from her letter is her expression of regret and wishing for the past. Wishing for the past to be the present. And I mean, I don't know how better way to say this, so I'm just going to say it, is that what has happened to this day to get you here was the journey that you had to walk.
Yeah.
It was your journey. And I can't even, like, I know that there are moments, like, so I'll have moments where I'll be like, if I had never met that person, then I wouldn't have dealt with all that pain, or I wouldn't have had that, or if I hadn't done this, then it wouldn't be this. We all do this, right? Like, you do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time.
Right? So when you have those moments of saying, like, what propels you forward, I guess is my question.
Man, that's a tough question to answer, because I mean, you're right. Your life is a lot of small events that, and I was watching a video about the butterfly effect. It dealt with, kind of the origin of that was, I forgot, it was Arthur C. Clarke, A Sound of Thunder. It's a science fiction short story about how one small tiny change over time, has great effects. And, and I was thinking about that myself, about things like, if I'd never gotten married, I probably wouldn't have moved down here, gotten a real interest in podcasts, and may not be even on the show today if it wasn't for that. Every little thing in your life builds upon something else. The career that I have now is because I decided to move and get married. All of these little things, I would have been a completely different person today if it wasn't for all these tiny little events. And it's because you've walked this journey that you are here now, being, reflective of it. You're looking back on those days, and there's nothing wrong with, going back in time in your head and seeing those days. And I don't think there's a person that's ever lived that has not thought back to a time in their lives and regretted something they've done or said, or, a decision that they made. They're like, I really should have picked this thing. I really should have gone back. It's the what ifs plague us all. And times in my life, they completely conquered my brain and how I thought. It's so much to the point that it impaired me from making new decisions because I was dwelling on the old ones. But in this case, you've come to the other side of this, the difficulties that you've been having, and you came over to the other side, and you don't have your husband anymore. And that is awful, especially, and I could definitely feel for you, because now, you're like, I want him to be here now, but I couldn't deal with it. Something happened back then where you guys couldn't pull through together.
Yeah. And that is the thing that, I mean, you said exactly what I was envisioning in my head when I asked that question. Because the reason that you're here now is because you took the journey of life to get you to this point. It literally is that simple. Whether or not you are happy with the choices that you made to get to that point, there is a perspective that needs to be considered, which is that sometimes these things just happen. And had she not known, she can look back now and say, I was not ready to, he was not ready to be in my life at that point, or I was not ready to embrace his love equally. And now I am, but now he's not here. And I wish that he was. But I don't mean to be harsh about this. I'm just being realistic. He's not.
Yeah.
And that is the thing that when these things start to happen, and I mean, I just went through this in a similar way, nothing as extreme as this right now, but my journey to living in Minnesota. And I'll give you kind of a little bit of a path to that. My journey to living in Minnesota was Pat offering me a job. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm here. That's why I moved. I picked up my life and I moved here. And there were other parts of that too. And, you know, going through a terrible divorce, and I hated my job, and it was a good fresh start for me. It was a good timing. It was an opportunity, and I took it. And now I've been living in Minnesota for the last 2 years, and I know in my heart that I don't really love this state. I miss Wisconsin. I wish I was back there. But I made that choice and I moved here. And now that job is gone. The reason that I moved here is gone. And that friend is gone. He's driving across the country. And I will not lie, and I will not say that it's been easy, because it hasn't been easy. It was very difficult. And there were a lot of moments where I sat there and said, well, why did I even make this decision? Why, this is, now I'm stuck here, quote unquote. Like, I mean, I bought a place because it was cheaper for me after having a divorce and selling or getting my share of the house. It was actually cheaper for me to own a home than it was to rent one because of the shortage in rental housing. So now I'm like, I have a place that is like, I own this place, so now it's mine. I can't just pick up and move back to Madison if I wanted to. And I was kind of getting stuck in this mode of like, well, I'm just mad at these circumstances, and I'm broken, and I'm upset, and this is not fair, and why did this happen? And then I started, what turned my perspective was to look at all of the opportunities that have come my way after I lost my job with Pat. All of the opportunities that I am currently kicking up, the opportunities that I went after myself that I would have never done if I were still working for him. The courage that I found inside myself to literally approach a stranger that I had just kind of heard about and pitch them a podcast idea of something I'd never done before. I mean, that stuff would not have happened. And it just so happens that stranger lives here in Minneapolis, 10-15 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah.
Because of that interaction, there are a whole lot of other things that are happening right now, which I hopefully can talk about soon. And none of it would have happened had I not moved here, had I not, gotten the job and lost it, had I went through all of those things to get to the point where I am right now. And I can say with absolute certainty that sometimes people come into your life for a reason, and sometimes they're not meant to stay.
And that's a tough thing for me to deal with.
It is something that I really struggled with for a long time, because when you connect with somebody and you have this friendship, relationship, whatever it is that you have, like when you think about the sheer probability of meeting a person with like-minded values that you can connect with, and have that kind of like trust relationship, out of the billions of people in this world, like like you think about it and you're like, well, this is a pretty rare thing. And yet it happens with relative frequency if you're out there, you've met a lot of people in your time, in your life. Maybe you haven't like connected with all of them, but you've met a lot of people, especially in your job. And when I used to think that way too, where it was like, once I've met them and once I've connected with them, like we're friends forever, or we're in a relationship forever, or it's just like, this is for keeps.
Mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes
Yeah.
you meet that person and they're that person. They're that person, everybody can tell you a story of someone who like, we've been friends since we were 4, or we met each other and it was like we knew each other for 15 years and we've only known each other for like 30 hours, or, something like that. I mean, everybody's got that story. Everybody knows somebody who's got that story.
Yeah.
But sometimes the person who you knew for 30 hours, who felt like they were there for 15 years, comes into your life and they leave it. And it's what the impact is that they leave behind is the thing that you need to take into account, because a lot of us just focus on the loss. Like, especially, like, I've known this person for 6 years and I thought I knew them better than this and I didn't expect them to be like this. Well, people change.
Yeah.
And sometimes that great person who was in your life isn't such that great person anymore. It's not your fault. It's life. It's what happens. And when I realized that, when I started to accept it, that sometimes just people are there to teach you a lesson in your path, that's what I believe. In my spiritual journey, I believe that there are people that cross your path, and some of them are there to stay for a long time. Some of them are there to stay forever, and some of them are there for a short time. But every single one of them teaches you something.
Yeah, that's very true. And I've noticed that with friends that have come and gone in my life, and people that and relationships that I've had, all that. It does kind of it teaches you a lesson. It teaches you stuff about yourself and about others, and that's, you just kind of take it as a learned lesson and something to remember in the future. And that comes to friends, coworkers, business people you want to work with, and relationships, and someone you want to stay with the rest of your life. Those are little lessons that you do have to remember and kind of take with you. And and there's the hopeless romantic in me is hoping that the guy the ex-husband will get in touch with her and things will work out. But that's something you can't bet on. That's something we can't hope for the best, but realize that it probably won't happen. I mean, I don't know if, for me, I don't know if there's a way that she could got in contact with him. I don't know if it's one of those things where,
I think she's trying to get in contact with him through us. Yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking. But so I don't know if he's still listening. I hope he at least contacts her, and that way they could, if not, and I'll use my parents as an example. Both my parents got divorced when I was in, oh gosh, like it was like mid-90s. And since then, both my parents have remarried, and then they have gotten divorced again. So they're both single, and and they're like they spend time together again, and I don't the relationship between my mom and dad, I don't know, I'm not privy to the particulars in it, but the little kid in me and also the adult in me was hoping that if the stars align right, that they would get back together. They certainly don't dislike each other, they're still good friends. But sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes people realize mistakes that they made in the past, and they're able to confront it, overcome it, and apologize for it, and realize that they'd made a mistake, and at least mend the wounds, if not rekindle a relationship, at least mend the wounds. And I think that, if nothing else, that may help Joy out, just to have contact with that person again. So I hope he's listening. I hope that he can get in contact with her. I mean, heck, you could email the show if if nothing else, because that's how we got it. But that's just like one part of my idea with it. I'm always hopeful that things will work out, but they rarely ever do.
Yeah.
And so you do have to take this, if nothing else, Joy, you have to take it as you realizing that, yes, you had in your memories, you had a great person that you weren't, it's like meeting somebody too soon or too late. The stars didn't align when you were both ready for that same level of a relationship, and it sucks. Because I mean, it happens to everybody. You always think, oh, I should have, why couldn't I have met you sooner? Or why couldn't I have met this person or that before all this happened, or before I moved away, or before all these things. But like we had talked earlier, you wouldn't be the person you are today if that had happened.
Yeah.
And who's to say who you would have been? I mean, it slightly reminds me of that Stephen King book, and then it was a Hulu series, 11/22/63, the one about the guy that went back in time and stopped JFK's assassination. Well, after he did it, he went back to the present, and it was like World War III had already happened. Like millions of people were dead, all because of this one event that had changed. It's a bad thing. President getting assassinated is objectively a bad thing. But we don't know what life would have been like if it hadn't happened. Going back and killing baby Hitler. Like, who's to say what it would have been worse? Someone worse might have come up. We never know these things.
Yeah.
And we can't get caught up in the what ifs and the possibilities because, our brains aren't meant to work that way. We only get this one path to walk. I mean, we have control over where and how we walk our path in life. But we can't get into the weeds of wondering what would have happened if and when and how and all this. The best thing for you to do is, even though you are here and you are better than you were before, that, and I think, is a major accomplishment and something that you should definitely be proud of, that you have walked through all of your difficulties and you are still here and you have managed to go through it. I mean, you are still here, you're still breathing, you're still alive, and you're still here. And no matter what happens, you have walked this path, part with him, and then after the divorce without him.
And what would the consideration be for her? I would say this. Consider the fact that him leaving may have been the reason that you feel that you're doing better.
True.
That it was the impetus to get you to that point, to face those issues, to face them down. That his leaving and you splitting up was the reason why you were able to heal. Because had that not happened, you may not have been able to. And that's the perspective, that's the lessons that you need to look for. You need to view as to, this journey has taught you things. This journey has been fraught with pain and suffering and heartache, but every single part of it has taught you something about yourself, about other people. And that's like the most important thing to take away, because if you stay stuck, if you stay looking at the past with wistful eyes, you're never going to see what's going to happen in the future.
It's that adage of staring at a closed door, you miss the open window.
Yeah. And I know exactly how it feels, because when it's like crippling, awful pain, you don't want to do anything. And the only thing that right now that's going to help is time and therapy. But the passage of time, the thing that has gotten you to this exact moment in life right now, is the very thing that's going to continue to help you heal. Because what hurts and cuts you deep now is not going to be that way down the road. I can't say how much time it takes. I mean, there's still stuff that I need to do to heal from my past. And I'm still doing that. And the one thing that I have learned about being with someone and then not with someone is that you need to make sure that you are someone who can be okay standing alone. That you are able to be a functional, strong, capable adult on your own. Because that's what's going to bring you to a relationship in the future that's healthy and constructive.
Yeah.
Knowing what you wrote and saying that I was not ready, I could not accept his love, I was too broken, all of those things is exactly what I'm saying. You can't be a broken individual and love someone completely and wholly again. And that is something that it's just how it works. Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to stand on your own in order to be loved by someone. Someone else can love you, but for you to accept that love and be two sides of a coin instead of the coin itself. It's you two individuals standing next to each other with lives that intertwine, but your life is not one singular life.
Yeah, the phrase "you complete me" is misleading, because ideally you should be complete yourself and they should too, but you'll just bond next to each other like you said.
Yeah, I really do hate that term "you complete me," so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
Because it makes it, because what it does is it insinuates that you are not whole.
Yeah, and that you are dependent on someone else, and
Yeah.
that's the worst way to be, because people move on with their lives. People, that's the one, like we had talked earlier, that's the only constant in life is change. People will come and go. People will die. We have no control over these things, and if you're basing your existence, your happiness, everything on solely just a person, that person will fail you in one way or another.
Yeah.
By their intention or by accident, they will fail you.
Yeah.
Everyone has failed somebody. Everyone has been failed by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that ability to move past it and not let that person or their influence make up everything you are, because you are just as important, you are just as special, and you're just as unique as that person that you are holding on to in that way.
Yeah.
And you're worth the same that they are. You're both worth equally.
Yeah. And that's why, for me, it's very difficult for me to date. It's very difficult for me to date because there are so many people out there, especially in my age group, that are looking for someone to fix them or to complete them.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not want to be that person, nor do I need to be that person.
Yeah. Jules isn't a fixer.
Well, yeah. I mean, by nature, I am a fixer.
Yeah.
But I do not want to... I don't want to go down that road again because I've already done that. I've already been there and I've done that, and it turned out really bad. So that is not the way that I want to go again. But what then happens is I'm just like, after a while, I'm just like, F this, I can't deal with this BS. And then I just like disable online dating accounts and just say screw it. So it's just done. So yeah, it is it's not an easy road to heal from trauma. It's not easy to recover from loss, and it's not easy to look at yourself and see the regrets, the choices that you wish you made differently. If you'd only known this when you were it doesn't matter at this point because
you didn't know it then.
You don't, and you won't. It's just you had to travel this path to get here now. So Joy, this is a little tough love for you, but I say it with a lot of love.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's just I hope that there is an opportunity, if it's meant to be that, if it's meant to be your path, that your ex-husband and you connect with each other again and rekindle your love, then that's your path. Mm-hmm. But I want you to not make it your only path.
Yeah. Don't focus solely on it. I mean, if it, like you said, if it's something that will happen, it will happen. But don't let it be the only thing you focus on.
Because there's your life.
Exactly. Life is to be savored, like the wise Pandaren say.
Yeah, and maybe it's savoring it in very, very small amounts in the beginning, because let's face it, when you're depressed and in pain, it sometimes is just, harder enough to just get out of bed and take a shower and put on clean clothes.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a donut at the local bakery that you just savor for a little bit and enjoy. Maybe it's an extra hour of really guilty pleasure TV. Maybe it's a moment where you had a little extra money in the bank and you decided to buy that pair of shoes you wanted. Just something, little things. But moving forward in life, is that one, it's that adage, one step at a time, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. One day at a time.
But it really is true. I can't say enough. Like, there are moments where I've berated myself because I didn't feel like I was recovering fast enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like recovery is at your own pace, and sometimes it is literally just a donut.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of the podcasts I watched listened to and watched was talking about going through grief or hard times. It's a desert sometimes. It is a lonely, inhospitable place to go through these negative emotions, but it is a desert you have to walk through. You have to go through it yourself. You have to think through it. And then you do eventually get through it. It is something that you can't ignore. We've talked before on the show about ignoring things like this. And I know you haven't, because you've gone back, you've already made it through most of this desert, and you're looking back on it and seeing how you made it through. And that's something to be praised and admired, that you have done this. You need to take the credit for the journey that you've already gone through, getting past all this.
Right.
The journey's never done, but you have made it through this really hard part of it. And it's a road that we always have to walk through by ourselves, through this negative emotions and times in our lives. But you do get through it eventually. And I know you have in a lot of these ways. And, I know you're stronger for it. I know you are in a lot better place than you were. And now you have a lot more potential. You have a lot of things that you can do, a lot of life to live, like we said there, don't be laser focused on this, and live your life. Get that donut, which I really want donuts now.
I know, right?
How'd you know I gave up carbs? Like, I need to go through my pre-BlizzCon cut, and I want a donut.
I'm sorry.
So bad. That's okay.
Well, my closing statement is something.
Go get that donut for me.
Yeah, go get the donut.
Go get it. Enjoy that donut for me, please.
My closing statement is something that I passed along to a friend of mine recently, because I read it and it just stuck with me, and it sticks with me to this day. And it's something that I saw on Reddit, and it says, "The habits you created to survive will no longer serve you when it's time to thrive. Get out of survival mode. New habits, new life."
I dig it.
I dig it too, because what resounded with me is that I was like, when you go through major trauma, when you go through something like that, like just losing your entire existence of like your marriage and your life together and all of that stuff, you do go into survival mode. And survival mode can be extreme to the point where like you are literally scraping to survive, being homeless, trying to make sure that you have enough money to feed yourself, and find a place to stay covered and sleep. But it's also about dealing with trauma and getting through the day-to-day, like, I just need to exist right now. Yeah. And so when you are coming out of that, like, I've realized this in myself, where I was like, I've been in survival mode a lot of times for the last couple of years for so long that I don't give myself permission to thrive when it's time. Mm-hmm. And that's not good. Like that's definitely not good. So just something to chew on, Joy, for this, because I think it might help you a little bit. Just chew on that. And I will put it in the show notes as well, the link to this on Reddit, because I saved it. This one really resounded with me, so that's why I shared it.
Mm-hmm. I agree completely. I hope for the best for you, Joy, and I know you've already made a lot of improvements in your life, and don't stop now. Mm-hmm. Keep going. Like we said, don't depend on the thought or the what if about your husband coming back, because he may or he may not. Either way, you're still here, and you need to enjoy your life. You need to thrive, like Jules was saying, either way, because you are worth having a thriving life.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, We all are. And sometimes it's
Mhm.
not possible at certain points in our lives, but
Sure.
it is something that we would always strive for. And when it is time, you're allowed. you're you're
Oh yeah.
allowed to thrive. You are. So, and thank you so much for writing to us again after
Absolutely.
5 years. That's a long
Yeah.
time.
That is a very, very long time.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
for
writing us again.
and staying with us in this journey, even if it's been on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are all part of our journey as well. So, yeah, this just I really hope that we get another letter down the road of where you are in that day, and it's going to be in an even better place than you are now.
Yeah, even if it's another, 206 episodes or whatever the number is, even if it's that long from now,
Right?
like, please let us know how things are going, and we are hoping for the best for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again, we have room for letters for you guys as well. If anything that we said in the show kind of resonated with you and you'd like to ask for some perspective, advice, thoughts, questions about the things that we've talked about tonight, you can write to us at questions@taurenThinkTank.com. Our DMs are open on Twitter. It's at Tauren Think Tank, and messages are open on Facebook, facebook.com/Tauren Think Tank. You can send them any way you would like, and Discord as well. It's probably best that you don't message one of us directly on Discord just because it gets kind of lost. But if you don't mind yourself being open, you can always put it into our discussion chat, or if you want it to be private, send it through email. So
Yep, many, many different ways to get a hold of us and get in touch with us.
yes, absolutely. My Discord DMs get insane sometimes, and so a question I don't want to get lost. So I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle. So,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And that Marconin has produced a show.
It has 286 times.
286 times and counting.
And counting. One of these days we'll get to 300, and I don't know what we'll do with that.
I have no idea. We have several weeks before that happens, so
we have at least a couple weeks to deal with that.
several weeks.
Send in your show 300 ideas.
300. Yeah, it's coming down the road. So speaking of next show, we have a bit of a schedule mix-up change-up, not mix-up. Because Marconin is going to Dallas, as he mentioned. So we are recording the show on a special day and time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to record on Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, which is what, the 24th?
25th.
25th?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be recording in the afternoon at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you happen to be an EU listener, that might be something that you could do.
Yeah.
Come to the live chat
join
room.
us in the chat.
Yes.
Or, if your boss doesn't see what your computer looks like, you join us.
Yeah. You can sneak it in if you're just watching Twitch on there. Reese is loving all over Marconin's microphone.
She is. She's nuzzling on the back side of it.
And Tuesday the 25th at 1 p.m. Central is our next show recording, and then after that we will go back to our Thursday unless we switch it up again. But just to accommodate Marconin's travels, and since he'll be off all week and I'm around all day, we can do it on the afternoon. So yes, so Tuesday at 1. And we will be on live, twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank.
Yep. Same place we are right now.
Same place we are right now. So, yeah, trying to find another weeknight these days has just been kind of a brutal thing. So
it really has, yeah.
my weeknights are getting crazy. So, yeah, it's just kind of, and a lot of it's work. Like, I'm working in the evenings. So it's like, yeah, just trying to get stuff done. So we'll be back. We won't have like a lot of time between now and the next show, but I'm sure we'll accumulate stuff to do and talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have a little bit. And of course I'll have like one day of my vacation or day offs to talk about, like that Monday, so, we'll hang out and we'll do what we do best, which is talk to you guys and talk to each other and have a good old time like we usually do.
Yeah, and we've got a letter already pending, so we'll be like ripping it up already. We're ready to go.
It's in the hopper.
Yeah, we can do the show right now. We're just like ready, but we'll wait till Tuesday. So
Yeah, we'll give you a couple days to relax and get ready for the next one, because I know it's exhausting listening to us. It's like a wild roller coaster of feels and talk and fun. And of course, we always appreciate you guys listening in and watching whenever you do, and just being part of our podcast family and our Moo Crew. So
absolutely,
we appreciate every one of you.
Absolutely. And with that, I think we're going to bring this show to a close, unless you have anything
Just
else.
about. I have a slash moo real quick to our listener and friend Nymeria, because I got a package in the mail today. She is a fellow pin collector like me.
Uh-huh.
And she sent me a Discord piggy pin from PAX West.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because she lives in Washington, where they have it. And she also sent me this. It's like an original pin. It's Beekeeper May. It's very cute. And I think it says you're a keeper.
Oh, it does. That's super cute.
It is so cute. And she sent me a really sweet postcard with it. And so a huge slash moo to Nymeria, who we won't get to see at BlizzCon this year, but that's because she's getting married. So congratulations.
I am making her bridesmaids gifts as well.
Oh, you are? Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes, she's commissioned me to do that. So
that's awesome.
Yes, super cool.
So thank you, Nymeria, for these pins. I will wear them with love and pride, and I will wear them at BlizzCon on my lanyard. So thank you very much for the pins.
That's fantastic. All right, now we're going to bring the show to a close, as we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is brought to you by you, our listeners. We are supported by you. And we thank every single one of you every month who supports us on Patreon. Like, you are the lifeblood of this show. You help pay for our bandwidth costs, our posting, all of that stuff. Thank you so much. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank.
Yes, you can. And also, portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, and that's at taurenthinktank.com, which, of course, has all of our podcasts, especially episode 80 and even earlier than that, and also some ways to get in touch with us, too.
If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community and bond over your Moo Crew love, you can go to Discord and meet all the people who are part of this community. They are located, quick way to get there, tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yep, and you can also find us on Facebook and like us at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. Of course, best way to find us sometimes is on Twitter, of course, and you can find the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find Jules at JulesRPG. You can find me at Mark Conan Wow.
We thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and being our third chair. You guys are awesome. Being there and hanging out with us every Thursday night, unless we're changing it up like we are next week. We start at 8 o'clock Central on our normal time. You can find us at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank for the live show and be a part of that lovely chat room. We love seeing you with us here, or however you listen to the show. See, this is the brain fart thing that's happening again. Yep. Mark Conan.
Jules.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, I will. I'm gonna be enjoying the weekend and hopefully posting a lot of stuff on Twitter. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, working on some stuff. So, for myself, for Mark Conan, for the entire chat room, until next time, which is Tuesday, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
That little kitty cat has just been like, she's been like all over you.
She has. Yeah, she's sitting like right here on the desk. Maybe see, you want to say hi? Oh,
she's like, maybe. Grumble, grumble, grumble. No, Dad.
No, sweetie. Maybe not.
Nope. She's just like, I was sitting here just fine. I'm going back to my spot. Oh, you're getting tail left.
I'm getting tails.
She
like
is
a mustache.
She is yelling at you with the tail.
she's looking right at the picture of me on the my monitor, or she was, and she was sniffing like right at my face.
Aw.
Hey,
Now she's getting
sweetie.
head bumps.
Yep. Hey, sweetie.
Here, have a cat butt chat room.
Yep. Enjoy the butt.
Have a cat butt.
Alrighty. So we got a couple of show titles right there.
Walking with your underwear down. I did say that, didn't I?
Time and a place, walking the path, maybe it's a donut. Yeah, the Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
You know what? Cat butt.
Cat butt. Do you like the
Nice.
maybe it's a donut one?
Yeah,
that your-
I kind of like that one.
Because you noted
Nice.
it, so I'm like, I think that's probably it.
Yeah. Nice tight ad there, Draven. I saw what you did there.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah. Jules and Marcone tight ad.
I was like,
Yeah,
I was
you
trying to
mentioned
figure out what it is. Walking with your underwear down. That was my story at the beginning of the show, but it wasn't as what it seemed. The story that I told at the beginning of the show was when I was with my parents this weekend. We went to this restaurant that was on the water, and there were places where boats could actually pull up to the restaurant. And so everybody in the restaurant was watching everyone parking their boats in and out of these slips. And so it's like you coming out there and like everybody's looking at you. Everybody. So if you screw up in parking your boat, everybody's like, and they're all saying stuff. They're all making comments. I ain't getting in there. He ain't getting in there. And like, so yeah, it was like you could be walking, like it's equivalent to like walking up with your underwear down and everybody staring at you. It's kind of what it was. I think that's how I said it.
Yeah. You were saying that everybody was if you parked the boat wrong or something, you felt like all these eyes on you, like people staring and pointing and laughing, like as if you're walking in with your underwear down.
Yep.
Was it something where like they would pilot the boat in or park the boat and then come into the restaurant?
Yes, and a lot of them, like one of them, they actually have a service that the servers can come to the boat and order
that's
food.
Fancy.
And then they bring the food to you on the boat.
It's like a Sonic,
Yeah,
like
it was
Sonic
like a
with
drive-up restaurant kind of thing.
Little car hops or boat
Car
hops.
hops. Yeah, boat hops.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like we watched this group come up and they were like in this gorgeous ship, not ship, but gorgeous boat. And then some, server came in, they ordered drinks and they got food, and then they delivered the food, and they're all just sitting on the back of the boat eating their food. And I'm like, that's awesome.
That's living right there.
Yeah. And my parents were like, yeah, we still wish we had our boat, because my parents had a pretty sizable boat for many, many years. And they actually lost it in Hurricane Sandy. It was destroyed. And so they just, luckily they had boat insurance. It was paid out because of the insurance. And then they'd been boating though since I was little, from like a little boat to a boat that had a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen. That's the progression that they worked themselves up there. So, so that was kind of their thing for many years, but it's hard work. Hard work and expensive to be a boat owner. So
yeah, I can imagine. So there's a lot of maintenance costs with it, and a lot of like rental or renting a spot.
Yep.
Dock and all that.
You have to rent a spot for the summer, and then you have to dry dock it in the winter. And you have to winterize it every year. And then there's all the maintenance stuff, like stuff that I never even would have considered, like where they had their boat for many years would get barnacles on the bottom, which is really damaging to the boat. And so you have to pay a diver to go under the boat and scrape off the barnacles. And I mean, it's just like, and then gas is like, you gas up your boat and it's $200 to gas up your boat, right?
Did it run off regular gas or? Gas, diesel? Or...
Yeah, but then they have to like bring the gas. Like, so it's like a gas station that is for boats. So you have to go to the gas boat dock and park your boat and gas it up and take it out. And so they have higher expenses because they're bringing the gasoline down to the water.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But
that is.
But I learned
awesome,
like
but expensive.
When I was little, we would fish all the time. We would go crabbing all the time. So
that's cool.
I learned how to. I mean, I didn't learn how to fish on the boat, but I fished a lot on the boat. I fished since I was little, and going crabbing is one of the most fun things you can do. The way we did it, which was not like drop a trap, it was get a drop line, put a piece of raw chicken on the end of it, and drop it into the water onto the floor, the river floor, and then the crab starts to take it, so your line starts to go out.
Yeah.
And you pull it up real slow, and then there's another person that's with you, and they scoop it up with a net, and then you caught your crab.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so much fun. Yeah, chicken neck drag line. Solomio knows.
Oh, yeah.
So, Wicked Kitten, it's so much fun. It is so much fun. I bet my dad still has drop lines, too. It's like that's what I did when I was a kid, and then we'd catch up a bunch of crabs and we'd bring them back to where we were staying, and people like on the dock, and people would be like, "Hey, let's cook them," and so yeah.
That sounds really good. I made the mistake this weekend of going to Red Lobster for endless shrimp. Because Saturday I worked a long day, and I didn't eat it all that day, and then my wife suggested endless shrimp, and I was like, yes.
I've been thinking about Red Lobster recently.
Actually, my reply to her text was F yes. I was like, let's go. And we did. And we ate a lot of food.
I had fried clams this weekend, and it was just like, so good. So good.
Yeah, I need to go down to the Gulf for more food. I'll tell you one thing I'm excited about next week. Whataburger.
Oh, it's true. You're probably gonna eat there every day.
Yeah, well, at least once. I'll do it at least once just to say, just to have it again.
Tell your friends to take you to some barbecue while you're there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I need to get some beef barbecue while I'm down there.
Yeah.
There's In-N-Out Burger in Dallas too, but I ate there once and I was like, yeah, this is not bad. Yeah. It's not like the holy grail of burgers, but it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solid choice.
My dad just texted me and said, lots of fun on the Boat. That's what we used to call it, is the Boat.
On the Boat.
There's a story behind that too. My parents had a boat that they were going to sell because they wanted to buy a new one. And so I don't know if it turned out that I was asked to do it or I volunteered to do it, but I volunteered to paint a sign that said boat for sale. But the way that I painted the word boat was the two letters B-O were small and the A and the T were huge. So it looked like Boat for sale. So
Boat for sale.
Forever now, that has been the joke. We're on the Boat.
Oh, that's funny.
Because of the stupid sign that I painted. That was because it really it literally went like B-O-A-T.
What?
Yes. So yeah, my family, being from New Jersey, doesn't let anything get by them, nor do they let you forget anytime you do something dumb. So because you know what? They're from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. They have opinions.
Yep. They have opinions.
This is the explanation of everything. Yes. They're from Jersey. They have opinions.
Yeah. That's
It's true though. Anybody from Solomio and Wicked Kitten are sitting there nodding in their chairs right now because they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. They have opinions.
Okay. Yes.
Rotten. Yeah.
Hog rotten potatoes. Oh, that's mean, 20. That's mean.
5 years of hog rotten.
That's awesome, though. Hey, you just gotta embrace it.
Yeah, you can own it. Own those hog rottens.
Intentional glitch. People that remind you of silly and dumb things you've done in your entire life. I thought that was aliens. Yes, that is true.
Yep. That's like Oxford Dictionary definition of family right there.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are fun. All right, community, you're the best. If you can be here on Tuesday at 1, please do. If not, we understand because it's during the workday. But
yeah, tell your boss you're joining a conference call for one of the other branches.
I have a lunch meeting. It's
Yep.
going to be on my computer. I won't be available. I will be watching my show. I will be watching my program.
Yep, watching my stories.
My stories, yes.
I'll be right back with my stories. See you in an hour.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go wind down. It's been a crazy long day, and so we will see you guys on Tuesday at 1. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and /moo.
/moo, folks. We'll see you on Tuesday.